shop, as while the silver 1.8T powered one is mapped and on the road, I still got to finish this one, and it's a big job, so it ain't going to be finished anytime soon, but it ain't going to be finished at all if I don't bloody get on with it. So yeah, here I am. It's a 1.9 TDI MR2, by the way, but it's not Thomas's. It's Thomas's over there. It's that black one that's been outside. It's got an engine in there. It's got some other bits and pieces which are here that's going on it, but yeah, it's getting there. Anyway, that's nothing to do with me. This is. So, as you would have seen in the last video with this car, I had the turbos mocked up, but they wasn't in this position. But now they are in this position. Basically, I had them mounted there and there, and that was fine. But I've done nothing apart from move the V-bands, you know, the angle, to put them here. But while they were fine there, I realised while removing and refitting this thing to, I can't remember, weld those V-bands on maybe? I don't even remember why. This was just before the MR2 got mapped, so I've lost, I can't remember what happened to me yesterday, never mind, you know, over a week ago. But I realised I can move them in, and not only does it mean I can remove this whole piece, including the turbos, wastegate and everything, as one out the back of the car, which would be good for serviceability when it's finished, but also it makes it a lot more compact, and it also makes it a lower center of gravity and so on, you know, not having the turbos up there. And it also means less exhaust pipe work, because wow, here I can literally have the exhaust, if I wanted to, coming straight out. I might have I built this like this because when I had the turbos up there, I mocked up these, so it was basically gonna be like that from either side, and that in the middle, to end up like a triple exhaust, like a Ferrari F40, where they had one from each turbo and the external gate, and it all ending as a centre exit in the middle. I've got no problem with that, but it's a case of added weight, added complexity, added everything for, well, for nothing, for looks, really. But if I'm here, I can have the exhaust straight out, because these didn't give me more room for silencing or anything. If anything, it gave me less, because I had to make it out here. Here, I've actually got a little bit more room, but it involves none of this. I mean, this alone must, it's not light. I would say that's 4 or 5 kilos. Good quality stainless, especially 4 inches, not light. But if I went like this, I could have one of the race cats, the 100 SAR race cats like I got in the 1.8T tailpipe, and then exit straight out, and I'll modify this just to be a straight pipe in the middle as well. I reckon that look cooler, and it weighs less, and it's, well, it just seems to be a win all round. I know it would be cool to be able to see the turbine wheels spinning from the back of the car, but nah, I think I'd rather have these race cats on, which A means more flames, B means more glowing red hot, and C a bit more road legal, shall we call it. I don't think these would really pass an emissions test very well, or ever, but you know, taking the piss a bit less when it's a road car tends to be preferable. So yeah. In other news, and I think I mentioned this in a previous video, I was debating what to do about the rest of the exhaust. Because I first put V-bands on the manifolds, and then I realised because they're at slightly different angles to each other, rather than, you know, they both angle in, removing this as a one-piece unit, which it is, this manifold section, would be completely impossible. So I welded V-bands on there instead, which are at the same angle, so you could unbolt it. But then I thought, I wonder if I should make these pipes like link pipes anyway, rather than, it just seemed like if I had it welded all the way to the manifold, it wouldn't stop it fitting. But it's a long pipe. It's just, I think that was asking for trouble, like, you know, reliability, braking style trouble. And the only thing I also wasn't sure about was if I'd need a flexi pipe on this. I've seen them without, I've seen them with. I know with is better, but because it's going to be very solidly mounted anyway, I was hoping without, you know, just because to simplify it. But Thomas reckons, yeah, it would be a lot safer bet to add flexes there. So these are going to be separate link pipes with a flexi in, which will make it much easier for fitting as well. What you've got to do though is have the right flexi when it comes to pre-turbo stuff, because if you get the ones with like the sort of intertwined mesh on the inside, like, you know, most standard flexes on exhausts, that's just asking for something to fail and either clog up or get stuck in your turbo and knacker it up. So you need to do the more expensive flex bellows, which are these ones. These ones are like that on the outside and the inside, but there's no, you know, intertwined mesh. It's like a straight pipe that's got flex in the middle. So yeah, I've got two of them, one for each side. It'd be something along the lines of like that, one each side. You can see there, open one end, close the other, so you need to obviously pull it open away from the flow of gas. So something like that, and same on the other side, and we'd be good. Unfortunately, for now at least, that falls into the same situation as a lot of things, where the position of all this needs to be finalised before I can make anything. Otherwise, well, it might not fit when things are finalised. How exact it needs to be, I don't know, but I'm not gonna complete it for sure. I might make a start on the bits that, you know, clearly don't need to be exact, but I certainly won't finish it until I speak to Thomas a bit more about that. But it's going to be roughly here, but the worst thing would be to finish it and then realise the littlest movement of where we're mounting the engine or something means everything don't fit again. That would be utterly shit. So yeah, but that is where we are now, and I think now I might go and grab the bumper and put it on so I can see roughly where everything's going to sit. Obviously I'm going to have to cut holes in the bumper, but I don't care because I kind of want this looking shit. Like, yeah, not really a sleeper because it's bright yellow, but it is a sleeper in some ways, because a bright yellow knackered looking MR2 just looks like a piece of shit to most people. Like, oh, look at him with his knackered MR2, thinks he's got a Ferrari or something. I show him and then you destroy him. So yeah, it's kind of what I'm going for. So yeah, let me go and grab a bumper and see what this is going to look like. Well, a quick mock-up of the bumper. I literally store it up there, and I lobbed it down here because I couldn't be bothered to carry it, and because, like I said, the more scratches and shit the better, really. I want it to look rubbish. But yeah, the bumper's kind of different to how I remembered it, so my plan of straight out ain't gonna work. Basically, if we look, the exhausts as they currently are a bit lower than I thought. They're kind of closer to this number plate hole than anything. So I reckon I'm gonna basically do something along the lines of this, maybe with the tailpipes facing down, actually, because I think that looks quite cool for reasons that I can't describe. Yeah, I kind of like that, facing like 45-degree down, one there, and the screamer in the middle. I reckon so. My only issue is where I put the plate, because I can't really think of anywhere it doesn't look shit like that. Like, I don't mind a car looking, you know, shit, but not like, I like it looking shit because it's just unloved, not shit because I've put a fucking plate in a really weird place. I've never seen one of these with a plate relocated somewhere, I don't think. Obviously I need somewhere I can have the little number plate lights. Easiest, I suppose, would be there, but I don't like in my head that would look rubbish. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I think first things first, the exhaust. I mean, yeah, I don't think I can have it lower. I think that looks stupid. I don't really like higher. An offset rear plate. I know a lot of cars have it standard, but I don't like it. Normally 4x4s are like that. The plan of coming through here ain't gonna happen because it doesn't look the same as I imagined. I guess the closest I could do would be enlarge that whole bit and it come out of there, but to make that look presentable, considering the lip here, would take some body work that I don't want to do. So I've got a ready-made hole here, so it's coming out the hole. It's rare, but I've got a fairly free weekend, so yeah, I'm making the most of it. A bit more content. Been driving the MR2, it's bang on, fast, reliable. I want it to be faster though, it's bloody fast. I mean, and I haven't timed it yet, but you can tell it's fast. I mean, I haven't even raced much yet. I've raced a brand new 71 plate Audi S3. I don't even know what engines they got. I don't know how fast they are, but I absolutely fucking demolished that. So yeah, it's not slow at all. At the power it made and at the weight it probably is, it's about 300 horsepower per ton. In other news, I've got another 180T. My friend dropped this off to me earlier. I know absolutely nothing about it. I didn't even ask him where he got it from, to be honest. It's not off one of his cars, but he does break a lot of cars. So I'm guessing it's from that, I don't know. It come complete with turbo, manifolds, starter motor, all sorts of shit. It's meant to be good, I think. Fucking hope so. I mean, it's cheap, but don't get me wrong, it's only cheap if it works. The plan with it will be to put some rods in it, exhaust valves, probably double valve springs, probably NA cam or cams, and get it ready for when the rods from this one go to God. I mean, it could last a long time, but I know what I'm like, so I don't think it will. I mean, the level it's on now, especially with a good map from Badger 5, you know, it should be fairly safe. But I drive things hard. I don't just, you know, get a power figure and then potter around. I got cars to use them, so it gets a good kick in. And also, I'm constantly in my head going, needs to be faster, because the thing is, it's fast as fuck, but it handles the power so well that it can handle so much more. I mean, the dyno said 270. Going by the readings on the math sensor, you can read grams per second or whatever it is on there. How it currently is, which is, I would say, a touch more boost than it was at Badger 5, is showing 280, well, the equivalent of 280. And very soon, exactly when, I don't know, but I can see it coming in no time. I'm going to up the boost a bit more, just keep watching the AFRs and see what there's fuel for in this map. I know the injectors have run out near enough 400, and the turbo can't do that anyway. But the more I can get out of it as it is, without having to go back for another remap, because A, I don't want to pay for it, because I ain't made of money, and B, I just want to use it. I mean, I don't want to wait either, because obviously with mapping you got to wait until they got free space. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I turn up the boost a bit and the fueling shows, you know, it's running leaner, no, I'm not stupid, but I don't know what fuel this current map has got in it. You know, for all I know, because of the target lambda, he's mapped it up so as the boost goes up, it will stick at that target lambda level. I've no idea. I don't know what's happened, but I would like to find out and just turn it up to there, because yeah, the turbo can do probably about 50 more horsepower than it currently made on the dyno. Maybe more, maybe 70. I don't know. I reckon on the right engine it would make 350. I ain't gonna have the fuel for that, I'm fairly certain, but it might have the fuel for a touch more, and I'd just rather go to whatever it can go to and then just wait for the rest, and then it'll have to go back for the dyno for the rest. And also, I can't up it too much because I've got no access to the map, as in I can't adjust the duty cycle on the boost solenoid, so any adjustment I can do will be on the actuator or whatever, which means the boost would go up everywhere, and that limits me too, because I don't want to go over about £300 foot. Going by the liquid gauge now, that's saying it's peaking at less than £300 foot still. It made £300 foot on the dot on the dyno, but obviously now it's not running with the boost controller, it's running purely to actuator, which will to some extent slow down the boost response, which is fine by me because it's got plenty anyway, which in turn slows down peak torque. So I just have to see. There's nothing else I can do but have a play and monitor everything, and whatever I can make, and then it's time to go back for a map for the rest. In some respects, I think to myself, is it worth going back for the map on this turbo just for another 30-50 horsepower at best, or do I put a bigger one on and fucking send it straight away? I don't even know. I've not decided. Thing is, it's like maps, you know, it's not cheap paying for maps, so I don't want to do it over and over again just to make little tweaks. Even though I'm not a proven great mapper, I played with mapping enough that I think I'll be fairly confident if I had the software to do this, to up it a bit from where we are now, you know, safely. I'm certain I can do that, but I haven't got the equipment, so I can't. So yeah, but yeah, this is where we are now. One thing I do see on this is it's got an EGR block off plate. I mean, this thing that's modified, it's got an EGR block off, it's got some fucking heat shit on the inlet manifold, which I don't know why I bothered with really, because It's not that hot on that side of the engine bay. I don't know what else was done. It had a standard turbo on it, so nothing special. But it's just an AUQ, which is like a 180 brake, just 180. But yeah, I'm gonna nick that EGR block-off plate and remove my experimental anti-lag valve thingy on that, because as it is, with no tricks to the fueling to work with, or fueling or ignition to work with that anti-lag valve, there's no change I can notice. It seems to actually fuck up the drivability a little bit. On some cars, like my Volvo, you know, I could mess with it much better. On this, I wanted to try, and reality is I can't notice a difference. It might be because there's just not enough airflow through it. It might be because, I don't know, but nah, fuck it, I'm not gonna bother. So I'm gonna remove it, just so that empties out more of the engine bay, you know, to make it easier to work on and less things to potentially leak, and fit that blanking plate instead. But another reason I'm here is because I want to just give it a spanner check. You know, I've given it, you know, a fair kick in now, so I just want to go over all the bolts on the suspension and everything, and just make sure nothing's loose, nothing's going to fall off. I mean, even before mapping, the drive shaft bolts had worked themselves loose, so I had to tighten them up. At mapping, I think it was the rear wheels, neither of them was that tight, which is bizarre. My fault, I guess, but on a race car, they spanner check things before every fucking race. It just makes sense, because with abuse, things work loose. And it's not a race car, but it does get fucking raced. So, yeah, for the sake of an hour's worth of spanner checks, that's what I'm doing next. That pile of pipes and solenoids and valves and shit is what was the anti-lag valve setup. It's now all gone, just a blanking plate, a lot cleaner. Shouldn't affect anything, but there's no point keeping stuff that's not, you know, not doing anything. All it does is just clutters up an engine bay, makes it harder to work on, and gives more things to go wrong. So yeah, done. Yeah, remember I said about spanner check? Well, good job I did. Look, that's all 6 top mount bolts for the front shocks. I guess I didn't do them up right, but I've done like many hundreds of miles like this, and yeah, not noticed a problem. But there was. Fuck's sake. To be honest, I'm gonna have to realistically roll it back, get it in the air, and I've spanner checked the rear suspension in the past, but I haven't done the fronts because I didn't take them apart. But I don't even trust that I've done up the fucking bolts from the shocks to the hubs properly, seeing as I've clearly not done it that right. So I'd rather be safe than very sorry. But yeah, that's enough for this video, because frankly, I am knackered. I am like, I want to do more, but I am for some reason properly tired. So that's the end of this video. I am now going to drive home, and yeah, I'll try, and if I can stay awake, I'm going to edit this video so I can put it up for tomorrow. My next job on this is, well, you know what, I've had it since, I don't know, before Christmas maybe, but I've got a Draggy now. Or, you know, because I've always used that Race Logic box, but a Draggy seems even better, like more convenient. So I should time this as it is at like 270 brake, you know, which is, it's not going to be a fucking rocket ship at this power, but I'd like to time it, so that might be the next video. I'd also like to weigh it, which again may be the next video. And I would also like to turn the boost up a bit more, which I would have done today, but I'm so fucking tired. So maybe that'll be the next video too. But yeah, Hope you like this one. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, tell everybody. People in the comments, you know, some of my more regular or hardcore fucking viewers keep telling me to push my Patreon and stuff more, because obviously, you know, that would help. I mean, I literally make fuck all from it. I think my Patreon makes me about £20 a month or something ridiculous. It's almost nothing, but anything's good. Like the guy said, he's one of the Patreon donators, and he's like, well, you know, even if it buys you a cup of coffee, it's something, isn't it? So, and it is exactly that. I mean, the amount of fucking money it costs me just to go to the workshop and back, or just on food and drink I end up buying here to stay alive while I'm at the workshop, it all fucking adds up. That costs massively more than any money I make between YouTube and bloody Patreon combined. But yeah, I can't even remember my Patreon details. I'll put it in the description. I should do like a bit more of a plug, sort of, but I don't like Patreon or anything because it feels like fucking begging, but it's not. It's like, if you want to give us any money, just a few quid, you know, it buys me a fucking sandwich, you know what I'm saying? It's like anything to help, because as you might tell, I ain't got much money. I literally waste, and it is a waste really, isn't it? Nearly all my money on fucking about the fast cars. So yeah, honestly, anything's appreciative, because to be honest, it's like none of these cars would be this exact spec as they are if it weren't for the fact I do everything to what I can afford. Do you know what I mean? I do bang for your buck, and yeah, I'd always do bang for your buck, but I would do even more than I do if I actually had any money. Someone's actually offered me a really, really good turbo. Well, he's not offered it me, but he's selling it, and it's somebody I know, and it would be great for this, and it is cheap for all it is, but because I'm fucking poor, it's like, can I even justify it? It would be fucking ideal for this, practically a straight swap, and one of the, I'm not going to say what turbo it is, well actually I'm going to say the make. It's a fucking Zona rotor, which is like high end as you can bloody get, but it would be an almost direct fit for this, like a perfect upgrade, and it's cheap, you know, cheap for all it is. But it's like, can I even fucking justify that? Because I'm skint, I'm poor. So I don't know, maybe I will. I would like to, don't get me wrong, the temptation is massive, and it would be good for this engine until I make it explode, and then with like this one with some rods and exhaust valves and stuff, with the right turbine housing, that turbo's, it's rated to like 490 horsepower. So yeah, it would be really good. But again, it's all about money, and it's money you know, haven't necessarily got. So yeah, and I've got projects. Anyway, enough waffle. I'm gonna fuck off now, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-la.